This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Think of it like secondhand cigarette smoke where you just want to avoid it.
President Trump is not going to sit by and allow these acts of terrorism.
The Democratic Party is going to become more anti-Israel. That's my red line.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Smoke break takes on a whole new meaning. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. In this case, it means getting indoors away from the choking smoke of Canadian wildfires that are making breathing a chore for some, downright dangerous for others. Dr. Daniel Kraft is a pulmonologist at the University of Rochester Medical Center.
When we think about the wildfire smoke, you can think of it a little like secondhand cigarette smoke where you just want to avoid it.
New York DEC Commissioner Amanda Lefton.
We're seeing longer fire seasons. We're seeing drier conditions across the country and in North America generally, and that can mean that we're seeing increased wildfire smoke.
The good news, relief will get here eventually.
The plume of smoke and haze from the wildfires, largely emanating out of Ontario, will continue to be an issue tonight and tomorrow. A cold front will arrive Saturday with some showers and thunder showers, and the raindrops will help to cleanse the air a bit.
That's meteorologist Kevin Williams. We'll get his forecast for your area during this newscast. Smoking ruins at spots across Iran. CENTCOM hurling another volley of U.S. ordnance at them a few hours ago as the Trump administration shifts gears from bargaining to bombing. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Tehran has only itself to blame by violating that MOU, which led to a ceasefire.
They were not to fire on commercial vessels moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And unfortunately, they have made the tragic decision for them to do that. And President Trump is not going to sit by and allow these active acts of terrorism to take place in the Strait.
Here's Iran's stance through a translator.
The criminal United States continues its lawlessness and its efforts to destabilize the region. We once again stress that under no circumstances and in no way will we allow the United States, as a foreign and extra-regional country, to interfere in the Strait of Hormuz. This is Iran's inviolable red line.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Israel says Iran may try to expand the scope of the conflict beyond the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran is threatening now to use its proxy force in Yemen to close another strait, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. That's the entrance to the Red Sea. If President Trump follows through on his plans to attack Iranian power plants next week.
President Trump is expected to address Iran, voter ID, and more during a primetime address to the nation at 9 p.m. Support for Israel has become a divisive issue, especially within the Democratic Party. Maverick, Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman tells Fox.
I believe that the Democratic Party is going to become more anti-Israel. I mean, as long as we continue to do that, you make that official. You make that part of our platform. That's my red line in the Democratic Party.
Fetterman's comments coming as 103 House Democrats voted yesterday to cut off aid to Israel. Even though it failed, it's a stark contrast from 2 years ago when only 37 House Democrats voted for a similar bill. Next to Texas, where they say everything's bigger, unfortunately, that includes flooding right now, which is extreme in some areas. This Kerrville, Texas resident lives near an overflowing river.
Not much we can do. We've put the stuff in the lower areas off the floor by a few inches and just hope for the best. I'll hit the breakers, make sure that if the water rises, it's not going to hit the outlets and cause more problems. Button up the place and see what happens, what surprises are in store when I get home.
South Central Texas has been battered by heavy rain since Monday night. Over 2 million people being targeted for additional rounds of torrential rain through tomorrow. Some health news next. A breakthrough in efforts to lessen the impact of a memory-robbing disease. Here's Family Life's Bob Price.
Yeah, Mark, a new blood test may help predict if older adults are likely to develop Alzheimer's disease within the next 5 to 10 years. It's hoped this test could lead to earlier and more effective treatment. The rate of Alzheimer's in America is expected to double over the next 30 years. Right now, 42% of adults in this country over the age of 55 are living with some form of dementia. Bob Price, Family Life News.
Thank you, Bob. And too close for comfort. A low-altitude flight by the Blue Angels that sent chairs and umbrellas flying on a crowded Florida beach yesterday is under review. Navy officials say a jet flew below its standard arrival profile during a Breakfast with the Blues event at Pensacola Beach. No injuries reported, but witnesses say the aircraft passed unusually close to the crowd. Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report, a recap of our top regional stories. We'll hear from someone on the ground at a Samaritan's Purse field hospital in Venezuela. And is there a real-life Jaws swimming around the Atlantic right now? All of that coming up after Weather with Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. The plume of smoke and haze from the wildfires, largely emanating out of Ontario, will continue to be an issue tonight and tomorrow. A cold front will arrive Saturday with some showers and thunder showers, and the raindrops will help to cleanse the air a bit and hopefully tee up a nicer day on Sunday. In the meantime, for the night tonight, partly cloudy, hazy, and smoky, low temp 60s. Tomorrow, hazy and smoky with limited sun and a high temperature in the 80s. On Saturday, mostly cloudy, humid, couple of showers and thunderstorms will roam the area, high temperatures in the 80s, and then clouds break for some sunshine with seasonal conditions on Sunday.
Thanks, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. First to Buffalo. A possible clue into this week's sudden, unexplained resignation by the city's school superintendent, Pascal Mubanga. He and a school board member, Lewis Hawkins, are prominently mentioned in a lawsuit alleging incidents of sexual misconduct and harassment. The lawsuit was filed against the district on behalf of Antoinette Amos, Buffalo Schools Chief of Equity and Governance. In it, Amos claims numerous acts of misconduct by Mubanga and harassment by Hawkins going back to December of last year. Amos's attorney, Kristen Elmore Garcia, tells WIVB.
There are instances of forcible, unwanted touching, forcible, unwanted kissing, unwanted messages, invitations, and against one of the school board members, retaliation.
No comment yet from the district on those allegations. There's an effort underway to enact term limits in Onondaga County, New York. The proposal would limit the county executive and controller to no more than 3 four-year terms. County lawmaker Nicole Watts says the measure is now before the Board of Elections for consideration.
When it gets to the Board of Elections, there will be a next forthcoming opportunity for people not only to engage in public hearings, but then to make it to the ballot for their voice to be heard.
County Executive Ryan McMahon says the effort reeks of partisanship. A pro-life group in New York taking action to strengthen the reporting regulations concerning assisted suicide in the Empire State. That practice becomes legal on August 5th. New York Families Action wants the state health department to ensure doctors are not abusing the Medical Aid in Dying Act. Next month, New York becomes the 13th state to permit physician-assisted suicide. A Pennsylvania man convicted of voting twice in the 2020 presidential election learns his fate, and we learn of it from Family Life's Brian Query.
32-year-old Matthew Laius of Bethlehem was sentenced to 3 years of probation, including 6 months of home confinement, after being convicted on federal election fraud charges. Prosecutors say Laius voted by mail in Bucks County after moving to Florida, where he also cast an in-person ballot in the 2020 presidential election. In addition to probation, he was ordered to pay over $60,000 in fines and charges. Brian Query, Family Life News.
Thank you, Brian. And today is 716 Day in Western New York. The unofficial holiday is celebrated every July 16th in honor of Buffalo's 716 area code with community events and charitable activities. It's a major fundraiser through the Give 716 campaign, which supports over 600 local organizations. You're listening to the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
This is Faith Under Fire. We take you straight to the front lines of religious battlegrounds. I'm your host, Sarah Harnish. With me today, Thomas Ovington, the team lead for Samaritan's Purse's response in Venezuela. Samaritan's Purse on the ground after the largest earthquakes in a century struck Venezuela on June 24th. The death toll now well over 4,000, 17,000 people injured, thousands still missing, and Samaritan's Purse has set up this field hospital right at Ground Zero. You're there in that hospital right now. Tell me what's going on.
We were able to come in and set up this field hospital, Samaritan's Purse, in just over 48 hours. It's now fully functional. It's known as a Type 3 National Field Hospital, which means we have emergency rooms, we have intensive care, we even have 2 operating theaters. So we have doctors, nurses working 24 hours a day.
One of the posts that I saw on Facebook on the Samaritan's Purse website is that some of these people coming in should have had care the day of the earthquake. They're in pretty bad shape. What are some of the things that you've seen?
Yes. So we're seeing a lot of fractures, a lot of contusions, a lot of large trauma. And like you said, we have people now more than 2 weeks after the earthquake that are coming in with broken legs, broken arms, and that have still received no treatment since the day of the earthquake or received insufficient treatment just because the scale of these earthquakes, the scale of the need is really just absolutely overwhelming to the health system here, as it would be, honestly, anywhere on Earth, because the scale of need here is just massive. There's a great amount of suffering of people, even now, over 2 weeks later, suffering from pain and the effects of injuries that happened the day of the earthquake.
What does that part of Venezuela look like? This is a very populated area.
Yes, it's a very densely populated area. So we're right between the coast, between the ocean and a mountain range that's right near to here. It's honestly a beautiful area, but geographically it's a very small footprint of land. So there's a lot of very densely populated areas, a lot of tall apartment buildings. I mean, 200, 300 apartments per building. And those are the buildings that we've seen just completely collapsed.
The numbers are staggering. The United Nations says 1.3 million people are in urgent need of aid. Do you feel that setting up a field hospital and helping 100 people a day is making a big difference there?
Yeah. You know, the mission of Samaritan's Purse is to share the love of Jesus Christ through our words and through our actions. And just as Jesus says in the parable about the sheep, and he's willing to leave the 99 and go after the one. And that's what we see as part of our mission as well. We're here to share the hope we have in Jesus Christ. And for that, we are willing to go after the one because there's an eternal hope that we have in Jesus Christ. And we're here to share that with the people.
Is there a story on the ground in Venezuela since you've been there that has just shaken you?
The pastor of a local church, actually, this pastor lost his son and his grandson in the earthquake, and he himself was injured, and so he came in for treatment, but he said, I need to get back out and serve. I need to serve my flock. I need to serve the community because this is the mission that I have. Just to see his passion to serve and his passion to fulfill the calling that he's received, even in the midst of his own loss, it's just been, it's amazing.
Why do you do what you do? You go into the darkest, hardest places. Thomas, why would you show up in Venezuela to serve the people there?
We've been called to be light and salt in this world and to reflect the light of the world, which is Jesus Christ. And in the deepest darkness is where the light shines the brightest. And God opens the doors and God enables us and gives us the resources we need. And we just respond in faith to those opportunities he opens. And it's a blessing. I mean, it's challenging on a personal level, but it's a blessing to really be in the midst of what God is doing.
Learn more at SamaritansPurse.org.
Thank you, Sarah. A reminder, you can hear all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
A financial shortcut may relieve pressure, but still weaken our trust in God. Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. In 2 Chronicles 16, King Asa faced a serious military threat. Years earlier, he had cried out to the Lord and seen God deliver him from an overwhelming army. But this time, he panicked. Asa took silver and gold from the temple treasury and used it to buy help from another king. Strategically, it worked. The blockade ended. But God sent a prophet to confront him. You relied on the king of Syria and did not rely on the Lord your God. That's a sobering reminder. Money can solve problems quickly, but it can also become a shortcut around trust. Before asking, will this get me out? Ask, does this lead me to trust God? Get biblical answers to your financial questions in the Faith Fi community. Download Faith Fi, Faith and Finance in your app store or visit faithfi.com.
Thank you, sir. Finally at 5, just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water. Headed to the beach for a little summer vacation. There's a little real-life Jaws action in the Atlantic to be aware of. A 14-foot-long great white shark, believed to be the biggest ever tagged in the Atlantic, recently spotted off the coast of North Carolina, headed toward New England.
a bigger boat.
A little trivia about the movie Jaws, which hit its 50th anniversary last year. The bigger boat catchphrase spoken there by Roy Scheider, that was an ad-lib. The mechanical shark they used was nicknamed Bruce, named after Steven Spielberg's lawyer. And the novel by Peter Benchley, which spawned the movie, was based on a real-life incident at the Jersey Shore in 1916 when a rogue shark claimed 4 bathers. Enjoy your vacation. That's the world we live in for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.